Maybe you've noticed lines have gotten longer.
And your patience shorter.
The days have gotten darker.
And your chaos more chaosy.
Your bank account a little smaller.
And your jolly jollyless.
So we invite you to join us and pause.
Remember, this isn't a season of must-haves, to-dos, and next-day shipping.
It's the season to reflect and to remember our Redeemer.
To recall, rejoice, and reverence in the light of the world's message.
For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace.
This is Sydney.
And I'm Sher, and we invite you to join us in December for a special Christmas message.
To make your Christmas a little more Christmassy.
On December 25th, 1776, George Washington did a surprise attack on the Hessians at the Battle of Trenton. He won hands down. It was a huge victory for the American army. On December 31st, he spoke to those same soldiers who had just won at the Battle of Trenton and asked them to please re-enlist in the army. He said, "My brave fellows, you have done all I have asked you to do, and more than can be reasonably expected. But your country is at stake, your wives, your houses, and all that you hold dear. You have worn yourselves out with fatigues and hardships, but we know not how to spare you. If you will consent to stay 1 month longer, you will render that service to the cause of liberty and to your country, which you probably can never do under any other circumstances." At the end of the last major battle of the American Revolution, George Washington said to these same soldiers, "The blessing and protection of heaven are at all times necessary, but especially so in times of public distress and danger. The general hopes and trusts that every officer and man will endeavor to live and act as becomes a Christian soldier, defending the dearest rights and liberties of his country. I now make it my earnest prayer that God would most graciously be pleased to dispose us all to do justice, to love mercy, and to demean ourselves with that charity, humility, and pacific temper of the mind, which were the characteristics of the divine author of our blessed religion." We just celebrated the birth of our Savior. Our Savior is asking us to re-enlist in His army again, and He will ask the same of us every year. He wants us to do this to protect ourselves, our liberty, religious freedom, our families, and our friends. He wants us to become and be good Christian soldiers and fight with love, charity, humility, and do our best to follow the example of Him, our Savior. So let us remember that like Washington's soldiers, we are called to endure hardships and make sacrifices for a greater cause. Each year, our Savior invites us to recommit to His cause, to stand firm in the defense of our faith, our families, and the freedoms we hold dear. Let us strive to be His faithful soldiers, following His example with courage, love, and humility. This is our prayer.
From Sydney and Sher.